What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to discuss some of the things that we can expect to see in the future updates. Specifically, I want to talk about the new weapon and surprise unit, which we will get to, that's coming from the Dark Files UQ we're going to see on the 16th of February. So I'm going to drag this onto the screen. We have a new web page that PSO2 made for us, and this came out yesterday. So there is a lot of good information in here, and I will post a link down below so you all can peruse through this. But I'm just going to direct us to the interesting stuff that I found in here, which is down here at the where is it? Where is it? Right here, the Dark Files invading Central Alio. So you can click on this and you can learn more. And when we dive in here, we get a little bit more information about the UQ, what we're going to see. But there are, first off, pictures about the new Cinquem series we're going to see. And in some of these pictures, they give us a picture just highlighting more about what the Virtuoso unit exactly does. But it shows us how much photon scales it's going to cost to upgrade this weapon. And it's a lot. For the first level, it is 150 photon scales, which, I mean, as of right now, we can only get, what, 5, 6 maybe a day? I think there's some quests going out too that you can get some more, but that's a lot of daily grinding just for one level of potential on this weapon. Now, granted, it is a very good weapon, and we are going to get into the damage calculations, but I first wanted to present an option, a different option to be able to upgrade this weapon. A lot of people have been talking about it, so you've made it already know this information. But when we received the support scratch, the AC support scratch, which came with some of the best in slot capsules to this date in the Addy series, there was an additional item you could receive in there. And I'm going to show you in game. And what this item basically did is it ignores the cost of the item potential, the material requirement. Oh, is it potential? Here, let me go like that. The end potential unlock substitute. And there's 3 different levels for it currently. Maybe there's a level 4? I haven't seen one. The level 4 is usually NEX cube, so you wouldn't ignore that one. But these are additional options you have for when you are actually trying to improve your weapon, especially for this new weapon series. In the past, the requirements have always been something that's very easily farmable. Monatite, dualmite, trinite, tetrasite, right? In this case, photon scales being such a limited resource, it is going to be really tough to upgrade these weapons. So these are something that you could look into if you are planning on going into the Cinquem series. This is a really good option to consider. Now, I would highly recommend going and getting your photon scales regardless of what you plan on doing with this weapon. I will be linking down below one of my friends, Affy. She streams as well, and she also posts on her Twitter daily all of the photon scale locations. So I'm going to be linking that down below. Go give her a follow, and you'll have daily updates for all the scales, so you can make sure you get those. But this is a really good option for obviously anybody that wants to go into this weapon, but is really nervous about if they will have enough photon scales. So there is a level 1 option. It'll remove all material requirements when unlocking the level 1 item potential. There's a level 2 and a level 3. So we don't know what the level 2 requirement will be, nor the level 3, but we do know what the level 1 requirement is. So consider this if you are planning on going into the Cinquem series. Now, the question that I have for you all is, well, I also had this question, is how good is this series? We have some information from this weapon series. The first bit of series is that this is an upgraded sword that they're showing on the screen, and it has 333 attack. That is 9 attack power more than we have on our current Relic series, which is 324 at level 40. So this is technically the highest attack power weapon. But the question is, we don't know what the max potency percentage will be from the item potential, but we have a pretty good idea of what the max potency from this potential is. So let's just remember that at level 1, it's showing an 18% potency, okay? So I'm going to visit the Arc's Visiphone website, which I will link this as well. Very good website to just search for information. And on this website, you can just hover over all of the properties and it's going to show you all the potencies. And there is a definite pattern here with potencies. For example, if we were to go to Griega, starts at potency 14%, goes to 20%. That's a 6% difference. Valorous unit starts at 8%, goes to 14, 6% difference. Quintal starts at 17, goes to 23, 6% difference. So if you get where I'm coming from, almost every single weapon has a 6% difference. There is a few weapons, right here, Resurger, it goes up 5% instead of 6%, but no weapon series in the game currently has ever had more than 6% increase to their potency from level 1 item potential to level 4. So, armed with the knowledge that we know it's an 18% potency weapon, we can somewhat safely assume that the max potency that this weapon will go to is 24%. So we know at level 40, and I know we're getting level 50 soon, but we're going to use the stats that we know right now. At level 40, 333 attack power, 24% potency. So the question is, how much better is that in comparison to Relic? Well, if you've visited the channel before, you know that I use this damage calculator quite often. If you're curious on how to use it, I will put in the info card the video that I made that shows you exactly how to use this this Google Doc, but I'm going to explain how we are going to use it today to provide what I would believe is pretty accurate information as to what we could assume that the Cinquem series will offer as for attack. So basically, this is just showing data of the average damage you would view when you're attacking into a monster with 928 defense and a damage reduction of 50%, which is level 39 Malevolence, so our Gigantics that we have in the Retem series. So what we can do is we already know some of these values. All of these affixes down here for the weapons and the units are set for the highest highest potency augment setup. And so what we can do is down here, there is a on the third tab, it's called single weapon. If we were to go to this one right here, this is showing you how much a certain weapon would do as per damage. So we can actually plug in all of the information that we just found out. We can plug in 333 attack power. We can plug in 24% potency. We can plug in all of the same weapon and unit affixes that we are using for this big data sheet here, the highest potency augment setup that we have. We can plug in all this information and we're going to get valuable information, or at least an accurate damage sheet for what this Cinquem series will do. So I went ahead and I already did that on my own copy. So we have 333 at base attack, 24% potency. I put in all of the same augments and units that we are using for the other data sheet right here. And then I made sure to adjust. You have to make sure you change this down here, the enemy defense adjust. Make sure you're using the same defense stats that we have been using on the other sheet. And when you plug in all of this information right here, you see the average damage as well as the damage you would see with Fixed Attack, Fatale, and Termina. So we're actually showing 117.146 damage that the Cinquem series should achieve if the potency is correct, which I do believe it is correct. So 117 damage. So how does that compare to some of the other relics? So let's go back. And if we look here, relic, the HP and PP versions, which would be the tech weapons and the hunter series, is at 115.8. So this is a little bit over 1 to 1.5 damage higher. Does that matter a lot? I mean, if you're a min-maxer, it does. But the fact of the matter is, it is better. As a matter of fact, it's just as good as a Fatale 1 of the Relic series. So this weapon series is going to be technically better. Now, this could change when we do get our 5th augment slot. This could change depending on how much additional attack power the Cinquem series gets from limit breaking to 50. Those are all stats that we do not know, and it's really, really hard to assume what those values would be. But at the very least, we can plug in the values that we know right now, and we can already see that the Cinquem series is a little bit better. So if you were planning on going into the weapon series, I wouldn't feel too stressed about going into it. You're probably going to have a better weapon series to go into. But if you already have a relic, especially a relic with a fix on it, I don't think it's going to be something that you should really focus on trying to go into. Um, Fact of the matter is, we will probably see another weapon series come out, maybe for level 45. So maybe in another 2 months, we're going to have another weapon series that comes out. So, take everything you see with a grain of salt. Take everything that I say with a grain of salt. I'm using a lot of speculative values here, but I do believe that some of the information I'm providing is pretty accurate. And I do believe that these damages that you're seeing on the screen here should be pretty accurate to what we will see once this patch goes live and we do have the weapons in our possessions. So now that we've talked a little bit about the Cinquem, is it Cinquem? Cinquem series. Now that we've talked about the Cinquem series, let's talk about the other piece of information in this web page that PSO2 provided us yesterday. Right below the Cinquem series is right here. A 5-star armor makes their entrance. Sega, why did you have to wait a day after the headline to tell us this? This was the one thing I was waiting for them to announce, was new units. So anyways, here we go. 3 new 5-star rarity armors, including the Schwarzest Armor, hit the racks. Each of these powerful pieces of armor increases the potency of melee, ranged, and technique weapons, and also increases HP and PP just the right amount. Join the battle in the urgent quest Dark Files Interception to get these as drops. So we have a whole new weapon series and unit series coming out of this UQ. So this UQ is a very, very valuable thing that we have now in our game, at least once the 16th drops. So it is a very welcome surprise that we are going to get units. I do hope that the Dark Files UQ will be challenging, so these drops that we do earn feel very rewarding. But I'm very excited. We can't really speculate too much on these units. I mean, I personally hope that these units don't knock out Grius or Giant armor. As for the highest potency units, I do think that is a little bit of a slap in the face for anybody that did invest very heavy into new Grius units, thinking that they were going to be units for the next 6 months. I was one of those believers that I thought that Grius would be the top dog for a long time. But I do think that these units may make a case for something for like a longer term investment. If these units have 1.5% potency or 1% potency and a lot of HP and PP, you're technically the second best unit, and that sounds like a nice cozy place for them to be at. Another thing to consider, it says that there's 3 new 5-star rarity armors. So something that you can think about is that in the past we've had the Arga, Shiza, and Belta variants, and they've always had the potency that each of those provided were heavily weighed in favor of 2 potency types. So maybe we have that here. We have the Schwarzest Armor, and then we have Arga, Shiza, and Belta, and that will get you to like 1.5% of 2 potency types. I could definitely see that direction that they're going with these units. The fact of the matter is we just can't speculate too much, but it is very exciting. If you don't have a good set of units, this is something to really look into. Like I said, I hope that they don't replace Grius. I think that would just be a horrible move. I feel like a lot of players will feel like all of their time invested these last 2 months of Retem were basically wasted if they're already replaced. I do think that there's a nice little spot that these units could go into. Like I said, if it's like 1.5% potency with no negative drawbacks, a lot of people might dive into these units for that reason. Obviously, the big drawback to Grius and Giant is nobody likes the negative status ailments. They don't like the negative HP, right? But they love the additional photon power. So these units have a nice little home that they can make themselves in, and I think a lot of people would be happy with their introduction to the game without feeling like all of our time was wasted investing in Grius. So thank you for listening in. I know a lot of today was just speculating a lot of things, but I will continue to dive into the headline and any more information that we do receive so that we can prepare ourselves for these content updates. You can expect a few more videos this week, and I will see you all another time. Bye-bye.